I'm 54 and I'm going to tell you what nobody told me when I was 30 years old, but I wish they would have. You're not behind. You're just exhausted from holding everything up by yourself. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to apologize for wanting more. And you're not too late. You're just getting started. Stop waiting for permission to change your life. You don't need it. Some people won't make it into your next season, and that's okay. You can change your life radically in 5 years, but it starts with telling yourself the truth now. You can grieve the life you thought you would have and still build something better. God's not done with you. He's about to reroute everything. Take the trip. Leave the man. Wear the damn dress. You're still beautiful. You always were, even when you didn't believe it. Let the friendships fade. Let your body change. Let your priorities shift. That's not failure. That's becoming. And one more thing, that little voice inside of you that says, there has to be more. She's right. Just wait, sis. Your future self is gonna blow your mind. Hope that helps.
Starting over in your 30s isn't crisis, it's clarity. I'm 33 now, and I feel like I spent the first few years of my 30s really deconstructing who I thought I had to be. Letting go of every identity I inherited, every expectation, every this is just who you are, and actually asking myself who I want to be moving forward. And it came with grief, with unlearning, disappointment, confusion, depression, a whole dark night of the soul. My worldview got rocked, and there were moments I didn't know how I would put myself back together. I can feel something shifting now. Not because I'm magically healed or have it all figured out, but because I actually know myself. I know what I want, I know what I value, I know what I need, and when I slip out of alignment, I can feel it. And I can come back to myself so much quicker. So I'm still doing the work, but it's different now. It feels like I'm finally building a life that tells the truth about who I am.
If you are in your 30s and you are starting over, I want you to know that it's okay. Because, child, I am doing it. Literally. When I look back over my life, especially my 20s, I used to feel bad that I wasted years. At least that's what I thought I did. I wasted years of not building my career, not making meaningful connections. I honestly dropped out of college, didn't have no idea what I wanted to do. I just started a business did well, and I was just figuring myself out through entrepreneurship, going to trade school, traveling, doing all these things. Whereas now in my 30s, I'm literally just now building my professional career in my 30s. And I remember before I started the role that I'm in now, I remember telling my husband, I'm like, there's so much that I am learning all over again that I wish I would have known earlier in my 20s, and not even probably would have known. I wish I would have listened to some people. But then I had to take a step back and know that my journey is mine. The way that my life is playing out, God knew that it was going to play out exactly this way. That's why he presented me with different opportunities and blessings all throughout these years to get me where I am today. And I don't look at starting over in your 30s as a bad thing. I really don't. And I became a mom in my late 20s, which that is a whole different thing because my body ain't the same. My mindset isn't the same. Sometimes I can't even believe I wake up and I have a whole husband and a kid sometimes. And now I am embarking on this new journey of building my professional career. I mean, I've literally gotten my foot in the door in so many different mind-blowing opportunities, and I'm happy to be starting over at 30 because I have such a fresh mind. I have more wisdom. I'm more conscious of the decisions that I am making moving forward, that when I look back, if I would have had the same opportunities that I have today in my early 20s, I probably would have squandered it. I probably wouldn't have nurtured those relationships and really went full force in those opportunities. So it's like everything happens for a reason, and you should not feel shame. You should not feel bad for having to start over. Look at it as a blessing that you get to start over. You get to rewrite your story, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So if you are in your 30s and you are starting over, I'm with you and I got you, and we're going to get through this together.
I've been seeing this trend on the Clock app and I got to tap in. So here's 3 pieces of advice for 30-year-olds from a 40-year-old. Well, technically 41. 1, choose yourself. Let me tell you something. As girls, we are taught to put everybody and their mama before us, and that becomes a really sick cycle of denying yourself, repressing yourself, and betraying yourself over time. I have a mentor who says, choosing yourself is choosing God. So choose God by choosing yourself. Now, family, church, and society did not make that easy for you, so I understand it's going to take some practical tools and tips to actually get that going. So here's number 2. Heal your codependency. When people hear codependency, they tend to think, oh, it's, you're super clingy or you get attached easily, or no, codependency expresses itself in trying to control others. It expresses itself in trying to rescue others. It expresses itself in you jumping in when people didn't even ask for your help. And next thing you know, you help them. They're in a better position. You're worse off and they don't even say thank you. So now you resent them for it, but they never asked you for help in the first place. Whose block am I on? And so it's important to understand, 1, what codependency is, and 2, to honor that we have all been conditioned to be codependent, whether it's family, church, society. They're the unholy trinity as far as I'm concerned. The 3rd piece of advice is to decolonize your faith. Your religion, your spirituality, your spiritual practices. Chances are, if you grew up in this country, especially if you're Black, you have some encounter with the Christian church. Decolonize your Christianity, babes. The way that colonized Christianity has ransacked women's self-esteem, our sense of self-worth. The fact of the matter is, you are created in the image and likeness of God, and God rejoices over you with singing, and doesn't just rejoice over your servitude parts or your self-denial, but over your pleasure, over your body, all of your body. So yeah, beloved ones, those are my 3 pieces of advice. Above all else, love yourself.
When you're living in a life that is so misaligned that you can feel it every single day, that every single day you wake up and you hate what you are doing with your time, you hate all of the pressure that is always on you, and you just can't take it anymore. That life will have been created slowly over time by you. Early in our lives, we tend to wear masks because they are useful for us, and they're much easier than actually getting to know who we are. Because we don't get to choose who we are. We only get to discover who we are. And a lot of the time, whoever we are is not okay with the environment that we're in. But we don't even know that we have the mask on. And so we build a life around our mask. We get married, we have children, we get careers. And slowly but surely, all the balls that we've been juggling to keep the mask up start to destroy us. They start to destroy our internal life, because you can't live your life just juggling all the time. You have to actually enjoy it. It has to actually resonate with who you are. And if it doesn't feed you, and you run out of energy. And you can slowly start to feel that misalignment over time, until eventually you don't want to be doing anything about your life. And so how do you know when you should change it? And how do you know how to change it? The good news is that life always brings you what you need. And so if you juggle the balls for too long, life will take them away from you anyway. It will put you in the hospital. It'll give you a chronic illness. It'll do something to your life that makes you completely incapacitated so that you must make the change. So if you're feeling that you need to make the change, life is asking you, hello, I am asking you nicely to make the change before I give you psychosis, before I give you some chronic illness that is going to literally take you away from here. You can change it by building bridges away. You can leave your relationship. You can get a different career. You can start hanging out with a different crowd. You can start slowly taking off that mask and figuring out who you are. The problem that you're going to run into is you're going to have a ton of anxiety about this because you're not used to being human. You're only used to doing an act. To be human is to be allowed to be whoever you are and to have other people accept that and to belong even. And you've sort of been taught that the only way that you belong is to juggle your balls and pretend to be something and to maintenance everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if everything in your life needs a ton of maintenance from you. Emotional maintenance, physical maintenance, all kinds of different energy that you have to put out. A really good shortcut would just be to stop juggling all the balls. When you wake up in the morning and you have your first action that you have to do that you cannot get yourself to do any longer, don't do it. And be willing to accept the consequence of not doing it. Maybe your partner breaks up with you, doesn't want to be with you anymore. Maybe you lose your career. Maybe you are embarrassed before your social circle. If you being who you are will destroy your life, then that would be a good life to destroy. There is no endless void that you're going to fall down. It's more like you will fall down and understand that there has been a netting underneath you the entire time. And you're like, oh, okay, so I can't really be hurt. I can't really be destroyed, really. And down here in the netting, I can figure out actually who I am, and I can actually rebuild everything. And I am not truly threatened by anything. And then as I rebuild, I get to go out and find people who truly resonate with my relaxed self, just being myself. Sometimes it helps to remove yourself and move to a different physical location so that the new people have no idea what to expect from you, because the old people are going to expect you to be your old self. I've gone through this destruction and transformation over and over again, and what I can tell you is nothing ever truly gets lost that is real within you. Every skill that you take on, every bit of knowledge that you take on, everything that is true about you gets to come with you. And everything that is just a mirage just falls away, and you don't have to carry it anymore. And the money seems to naturally come back if you lose it. And the relationships seem to naturally come back if you have built relationship skills in this life. And once you have gone through this transformation, you get to learn that you know how to stop juggling all the balls if you don't want to. And regular aligned life doesn't feel like juggling. It feels most of the time like doing actions that are very native to who you are. And you have to do the work of discovering who you are in order to know what choices would align with your best energy. So if your inner self is telling you, hello, I don't like the way that you are conducting your life every day, this really hurts. That's the only signal you need to know to stop controlling your life and to relax into transformation.
I'm going to be honest, when I hit 35, 36, I said, this ain't it. Let me just start pushing the boundaries a little bit. Let me stop accepting the dream I was sold. Let me clean up my friendship circle. Let me get serious about my finances. Decide right now if kids will be a part of our story. Learn how to let people walk out of my life without chasing them to the door. Let me stop letting people that couldn't do it decide what's possible for me. Let me figure out my little personal style and put on a fit. Start eating breakfast, make my coffee at home. Stop hiding behind the American dream and calling it stability, and start doing shit just for the joy of it. Turns out the person waiting on the other side of all of this was me, and I see her now.
Y'all, please do not be afraid of starting over. I am 32 years old and I'm on my second or third life do-over at this point. I changed career paths a couple of times. I moved out of the country. I even moved back in with my parents. But every single time that I have allowed myself to start over, I was better off for it and I leveled myself up. Is it still scary starting over each time? Absolutely. But after years of feeling stagnant and uncomfortable, I am just at this point in my life where I'm not afraid to pivot or change course. Because you see, the thing is, the time is going to pass by anyway. So I'd rather make the necessary adjustments to live a more fulfilling life than to just let the years continue to pass by and be miserable. So if you're currently feeling stuck or unhappy in your current situation, please do not be afraid to take a leap of faith and pivot. It may not be super easy, it may not be super comfortable, but life is way too short to stay in a place that does not bring you joy.
I'm 35 and I am starting over. And here are 3 things that I recently learned the hard way so that maybe you don't have to. When I say starting over, I mean that every facet of my life is different than it was 6 months ago, except for my career. But I have a new apartment, I have a new business, I am in a totally new life stage than I thought I would be. And that kind of ties into my first lesson, which was throw out your timelines or they will throw themselves out. And look, as someone who really wants to be a mom someday in the not so distant future, I understand that when we start talking about timelines, biological timelines are real. So it's hard to throw those out. But I guess what I mean is they say that man plans and God laughs. And boy, does he laugh right in your face when you think you have it all figured out, when you think you know exactly how your life is going to go, and like at this age I'll do this, at this age I'll do this, because it just doesn't work that way. You're really setting yourself up for failure if you believe in certainty in any sense. So if you have a timeline right now and you are not hitting it, take it as a blessing, because if you do start to hit certain things on your timeline and they are not right for you, you will be redirected in a very intense way, I promise you. The biggest comfort for me was when my timeline just, again, got totally thrown out the window, was to sit down and really analyze, why did I want the things that I thought I wanted when I wanted them? And it was honestly kind of revelatory. It was so much more about external forces and also just like my own psychology stuff, as opposed to this deep actual longing for those things in this specific moment. Which brings me to my second point. If a path gives you resistance, it is not your path. I was raised that I had to earn everything and work really hard. And I still don't think that that's the wrong approach. But I think that a lot of times we think that life has to be really, really hard and then it can get good. And what I've started to realize is that, yeah, even though life has its highs and lows, and trust me, I've been in a real freaking low, when I am forcing something to work and there's resistance and the door isn't budging and I'm trying to shove this door open, it's the wrong door. I got to go to door number 2, which is wide open. And through that door, other doors open easier. Sorry, I love a door metaphor. But basically my point is the things that I've really tried to force, be it relationships or job opportunities or friendships or what have you, things that I have tried to force, even if they've ultimately worked, have not worked fully in the end. If you force something to happen, you might get a positive result for the short term, but in the long term, that resistance is still there. I cannot tell you how many opportunities have come my way, how many open doors have come my way since I've stopped pushing. And since I've just let people or things show me what doesn't work and pivot to something that does. And if you are still stuck on a timeline, trying to force open a door that does not want to open is a waste of your time. And number three, something that I've learned is to just surrender, which I know sounds a little woo-woo, but I really feel like I was white knuckling life for so long. Like I was holding on for dear life, trying to control people's actions or what people thought of me or outputs to like job opportunities that I really had no control over. And I can't tell you how freeing it is to just do the things that you have control over and then let everything else go. Like it's detachment in its ultimate form. And I don't know if I hadn't had my whole life change, if I ever would have come to this sense of awareness about what it means to truly just release all expectations, release fears, release doubts, and just surrender to whatever is going to happen next. I hope these help. I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, if you can start adapting some of these mindsets, your life will just change dramatically for the better. I know mine did, even when I thought that wasn't possible. So follow me if you want any more sage advice from a 35-year-old who is totally starting over.
Here's some advice for your 30s that is not cute or inspirational from a 55-year-old. That friend you keep giving chances to, she's not misunderstood. She's just like that. Nobody's thinking about you. Post the thing. You don't hate your job. You hate that you have one. Therapy works when you stop lying to your therapist. Your back hurts because you sit like a gargoyle. Stop saying yes on Monday to things you will resent by Friday. Call your dad. If you have to convince yourself, that's the answer. You're not bad with money. You just keep buying stuff. Block him. Block him. Block him. That hobby you don't have time for, you had 4 hours for TikTok and Instagram yesterday. He's not your soulmate. He's just tall. Sunscreen every day. Yes, even today. The relationship isn't complicated. You just don't like the answer. Stop crowdsourcing decisions you've already made. Floss. I'm serious. Your future self is begging you. That book on your nightstand, it's not going to read itself. And your ex, he's not thinking about you. He's eating a sandwich. Hope that helps.